So the Donald Trump clown show continues, and today we're talking about egg prices, grocery prices, the markets, and what's going on with the trade war. So first, let's start with eggs. This is the Secretary of Agriculture. Let's see what she has to say.
A chart that shows the day we release the plan, and you can begin to see the cost of eggs going down over the last, again, 5 to 6 weeks. From the day we released the plan in early February, the price of eggs, of wholesale eggs, is down 56%. So that's about an $8.30 per dozen ish, down to about a $3.50 ish per dozen eggs. So we're seeing a great trend. The retail prices will soon catch up. They're already caught up in a lot of the parts of the country. But we continue to focus on making groceries affordable again. And I think the president's vision on this is working.
All right. So is the president's vision working according to the Secretary of Agriculture? She says yes. I was just looking around the market here. It says in the New York metro area sees one of the largest grocery prices increases in history. So I guess if you're in New York, not so much. Groceries are still high. Or if you're in Tampa Bay, that'd be Florida. Tampa Bay area sees largest grocery price increase in continental U.S. study finds. So I want to hear from you. It's going to depend on your neck of the woods. However, when they talk about bringing grocery prices down with the tariffs, and food can come all over, be it from Mexico, be it Canada, any number of places that you get food. Prices will go up. The other issue as well with eggs in particular, you also have the bird flu and you have a lot of volatility in that market. Now, wholesale prices are down. I did see that, but there is some lag to catch up to the retail. However, in your particular location, retailers may decide to profit more off of eggs on you and to, sort of supplement the losses that they're taking or the lack of profits that they're taking on other products. So it's all going to depend on your particular region. And then the other thing is as well is this like overall, the Trump people try to tell you how to feel opposed to you like experiencing life and seeing it for yourself. They try to twist reality. So you're going to know your situation with the egg prices, grocery prices as a whole, as the tariffs are kicking in. If you want to look at some other sources, because I like to show you guys different things. This came CBS here. It says grocery prices continue to rise, but some cities see higher spikes than others. It's all over the map in the USA. So, for example, Honolulu, that'd be Hawaii, 5.3% increase in grocery. Tampa, 4.3%. Twin Cities, Minnesota, 4.2%. LA. Meat, it says egg, meat, poultry, fish prices rose at 9.8%, in DC 9.4%, and then like in Texas, like Dallas Fort Worth at 2.1%. So increases, I mean, it's all over the map. So again, it's depend on where you live. Yale is saying maybe the next year you're going to see a 2.6%. Okay, next 3 years that is. Another one, fresh produce is estimated at 5.4% before stabilizing at 3.6%. So I'm just giving you different numbers. The basic gist of it is that predictions are that food prices are going to go up. Also, you got the tariffs that may or may not be changing. It's hard to say what's going on with these Trump people because they're all over the map, the same way that food prices are all over the map. This is what they're up to today. They're out. I'll show you. There's Trump.
What are you doing, Mr. President?
So he's saying they're going to do an American flag, and then he actually talks about it, the American flag.
Putting up a beautiful, almost 100-foot tall American flag on this side and another one on the other side.
American
two flags, top of the line.
Okay.
And they've needed flagpoles for 200 years. It was something I've often said, they don't have a flagpole per se. So we're putting one right where you saw us, and we're putting another one on the other side.
So I guess he's his priorities today is more flagpoles for from Trump's point of view. Maybe he's like going to try to build a new golf course, and the flagpole is going to be like the different holes on the golf course because that's sort of what his expertise is golf courses and golfing. What else is he up to today? Let's see.
Clarify, Mr. President, on China. Are you thinking about lowering their tariffs?
Fair deal with China. It's going to be fair.
Are you talking to them actively now?
Actively. Everything's active. Everybody wants to be a part of what we're doing. They know that they can't get away with it any longer, but they're still going to do fine.
Okay, so the question was, are you talking to China actively? And he's like, active? Everything's active. I mean, he's just making stuff up at this point. Because the reports that we've been seeing, and we just talked about it, I think it was just yesterday, Are you talking with China? And this is from the press secretary. And basically, the last time that they made a statement was the ball is moving in the right direction. And Trump wants a one-on-one meeting and a call with President Xi in China, but that's just not happening. China keeps saying the same thing. You send a rep, we'll send a rep, hash out the details, and then later we'll do some sort of signing ceremony or something. They don't want to talk to Trump. Trump claims we're talking to actively everybody. I just have to point out what they're saying because, it's sad that this is the president. I mean, it is sad, but that's just what it is. You got to see it for yourself, though. Let's see what else he has to say about the tariffs.
And we're going to have a country that you can be proud of, not a laughing stock all over the world for many years. In 1913, they traded to the income tax system. We used to be all tariff, and we had no income tax, so we had the wealthiest country we've ever had proportionately from about 1870 to 1913. It was all tariffs, and we did.
So it's weird that Trump always talks about this stuff like, hey, let's roll back the country back to the 1870s. Wow, the things were really great back then. It's like, okay, is that what we're talking about? But effectively, they want to go back to a period where oligarchs like Elon Musk control everything and want to roll back all of the safety nets and all of the services that are there to help the average citizen, right? You remember Elon Musk called Social Security a Ponzi scheme. They constantly attack public education, these kind of things. And so, for me, I don't have any problem with, hey, let's have a tax system in place so we have steady revenues into the government. I understand there's in the Republican side, a lot of anti-government people out there, but, the systems that we have in place to keep our markets functioning, normally, keep transparency, keep regulations on environment and any number of things, and just keep the lights on. Essentially, I think is a good thing. But he's speaking to a particular crowd that I guess just want to go back to the 1800s and lawless land, and fire as many government officials as possible, fire all those regulators, and just let Elon Musk run everything with him and his AI. Essentially the tax system that the Trumps and such and their friends want is a tax system that favors billionaires and hurts the average American person. So that's kind of where they're going. What's interesting though is that you can see this article here. Top Trump aides urge president to tone down attacks on Jerome Powell. Before he was talking about, I want to fire Jerome Powell, get him out there as quickly as possible. This was saying that according to aides, I guess it was Besant and Howard Lutnick, so that'd be the Commerce and Treasury, were talking Trump down. Got to pull back that rhetoric on attacking Jerome Powell and the Fed. And, basically you're pissing off the markets. And so they have different constituents that they serve, right? So obviously one constituent is their, wealthy donors and stuff like that. So like your Elon Musk, make sure that you funnel government money to people like Elon Musk, et cetera. And then you have the Wall Street people are like, yo, cut it out with ruining our markets and ruining trust in the markets. And so I guess that language is done with. The other one that was an interesting one that was floated, we talked about this one yesterday. Would the Republicans actually raise taxes on people who make over $1 million? Now, according to Newt Gingrich, we'll see what it says here. It says Gingrich believes Trump has taken a tax hike on the wealthy off the table. So maybe that's DOA. I don't know. We'll see. I'll just say this. The last time we checked on this particular issue, would Republicans raise taxes on, again, people who make over $1 million? The numbers don't work out. Okay. Not every Republican's a total idiot. I know it seems like the ones in power are, right, but not all of them. They can do math, but a lot of them are cowards and they don't stand up to to Trump and his buddies to create a more fair system. Because think of it this way: in a fair system, don't just give all these benefits to people like Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk, even though yes, he's a rich dude and he likes to sell you cars. The people at the bottom of the economic spectrum, right? We need money to buy your cars. So, if we don't have any money to buy your cars and we don't have any education to understand anything, it makes it tough for a society to function. And often, as I said, Trump wants to roll us back to the 1870s, take away everyone's, services and things that you need, take away your safety nets. Dumb us down, and I guess we just become factory workers, but we still need to purchase your product. So, I don't know what kind of system that they're going to go with, but as of now, the numbers don't add up.
We all want to be involved with America, and we have a lot of action going on. We're making a lot of money, this country. This country is not going to be losing money on trade anymore. We were losing $2 trillion a year on trade. Now we're going to be making money, a lot of money.
A lot of money. And the way they always portray this stuff, it's so misleading. Here's the thing, guys. USA is a wealthy nation, and we buy a lot of stuff from other countries. And this idea that because we buy more stuff than, say, consumers in other places, that we're losing or we're losers is ridiculous. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Think of it this way. Let's say, iPhone's $1,000 or whatever it is. Now we use the example of iPhone. And, let's say half of Americans can buy one, right? And we have a pretty big market and all Americans buy a bunch of iPhones. And you compare that to, say, another country that is smaller population and maybe not as wealthy. And so they can't buy so many iPhones. And I'm just giving an example, but, a lot of these, trade imbalances is misrepresented. Also, the way that they calculate the numbers on trade doesn't necessarily count how other countries, say, use our social media, use something like a Google, use our financial services, etc. And it's just it's a misrepresentation. Bigger population USA, and you can't expect smaller countries to, say, consume as much as we do. And this idea that not making any money is also kind of crazy. Now, what is true though is that Trump is speaking to the base. And the base is struggling, and I understand many Americans are, and it's a tough world out there. Prices are going up, the disparity between rich and poor is increasing, and corporate profits are through the roof. And someone like myself, I just want a more fair system, fund public education, make sure our tax system is fair. Whereas in Trump's situation, he's just like, hey, let's just roll everything back to like the 1870s. That's when things were really great. It's like, great for who, and that's kind of where they're going. The markets were a little bit better today. The last couple of days they were up because Trump has changed his rhetoric, be it on the trade war, be it on the attacks on Jerome Powell. But a lot of the stuff that they say is just frankly nonsense. And that's why I have to show you guys this stuff, just so you get a sense of what it is and why things are so volatile these days. This is Carolyn Levitt. Have a watch.
Let me be clear. There will be no unilateral reduction in tariffs against China. The president has made it clear China needs to make a deal with the United States of America. And we are optimistic that will happen. And when that continues, it will be up to the president what the tariff rate on China will be. But we certainly need to see a reduction in tariffs and non-monetary tariff barriers from China as well. And we also need to continue seeing these companies abroad return their manufacturing to the United States of America so we can shore up these critical supplies.
Good luck with that. So that's the question is Apple, just the example of Apple again, are they really going to bring an iPhone factory to the USA? We're going to be building, all the iPhones there. I don't think it's going to happen, but, they keep saying that kind of stuff. Or are we going to bring all these clothing jobs from Vietnam and bring them to the USA? I'll say this, though, which is kind of interesting. Look at their policy here. So part of their plan could be to build relationships in India. So check this out. This is JD Vance and the fam.
That's one.
They're taking pictures here in India.
Awesome, good job. Hey, Mary, can you put your
I don't
hands
think
down?
the kids like it too much.
It's
as
okay.
You can see.
You just look ahead. It's okay.
No, I can't even open my eyes.
You can. You just. Oh, I know, buddy. It's hard. Just do it for 3 seconds. All right. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I don't think the kids like it.
1, 2, 3.
This is actually what JD Vance tweeted out too. It said, with 3 little kids staring into the sun, this was actually the quote best photo we got at the Taj Mahal today. Laughy face, and he's with his wife Usha. I don't know what's going on with them. I'll just say this: they sent him there probably to do some sort of deal with India. Will the USA then say, for example, if we're going to decouple from China, if we're going to break up with China, are we going to build a new relationship with India? So that's what Vance is there trying to find out. And it's a bit disingenuous because remember this idea that we're bringing back all these factory jobs to the USA. Well, why are we in India? And why is Elon Musk in India, right? Chances are, again, they're negotiating, trying to build factories in India because they want to, maybe move from China. So that's what's up with that policy. I want to hear your thoughts on this stuff, any one of these things. I do appreciate your time. and I'll catch you on the next video.